Last summer, I took a solo road trip from Colorado to Arizona. I stopped halfway at this cheap roadside motel near Gallup, New Mexico. It was run down but had decent reviews online. I was just too tired to keep driving. The guy at the front desk was a little off. He didn't make eye contact and kept looking behind me while I checked in. He handed me a key to room 12 and said, "No loud noises after midnight, please." The room smelled like bleach and cigarette smoke. The bed looked clean enough, so I didn't care. I showered, ate snacks, then sat on the bed scrolling my phone. That's when I noticed something weird about the mirror above the dresser. It wasn't perfectly flush against the wall. There was a faint gap, like half an inch. When I got closer, I swear I saw a tiny flicker of movement, like a shadow shifting behind the glass. I tapped it. Solid. But when I leaned in and looked from the side, I saw a dark void behind the mirror, like it wasn't backed by a wall at all. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about the mirror. Around 2 a.m., I heard a creaking noise from behind it, like someone was slowly pressing their weight against it from the other side. I got up, grabbed my keys and bag, and left. No checkout, no explanation, just left. The next morning, I looked up recent reviews for the motel again. There was a new one, posted just hours after I left, from someone who stayed in room 12. It said, "Felt watched all night. Found a crawl space behind the mirror. Called police. They found a man hiding inside." That man could have been watching me the entire time. A couple years ago, I visited my cousin in southern India. I took an overnight bus from Bangalore to Kochi, a common way to travel there. These buses are usually full, but on that night, it was strangely empty. Only 6 passengers, including me. I sat in the middle row. An hour in, a woman got on at a small town stop. She wore a pale pink sari and her hair was soaking wet like she'd just stepped out of a storm. But it hadn't rained at all. She didn't speak. Just walked to the back and sat in the last row. Throughout the ride, I kept catching glimpses of her in the rearview mirror. She never moved, never blinked, just stared straight ahead. At one point, the bus stopped at a small rest station. Everyone got off to stretch or grab snacks, except her. When I got back on, I looked back again. She was gone. I assumed she got off. But then, about 30 minutes later, I heard something from behind. A cough. I turned around. She was back. Same seat. Same soaked hair. Still staring. I asked the driver later if he saw her board again. He looked at me confused and said, "No woman got back on. Only 5 passengers since the start." When we finally reached Kochi at dawn, I turned to look one last time. Her seat was empty, completely dry. When I asked the driver again, he paused and told me something I'll never forget. "Some say she died in an accident on this route years ago. Wears a pink sari, gets on alone, disappears before the city." Last winter, my girlfriend and I rented a remote Airbnb cabin in Montana to escape city life for a few days. No neighbors, no cell service, and miles from the main road. The first night was peaceful. We made dinner, played board games, and sat by the fire. But around 3 a.m., I woke up to footsteps outside on the porch. Heavy ones, crunching snow. I froze. There wasn't supposed to be anyone for miles. I slowly peeked through the curtain. Nothing. The next day, we found fresh footprints circling the cabin, multiple times. No tire tracks, just prints starting and ending in the woods. That night, I triple-checked all the locks. Still, at around the same time, the motion light on the porch flipped on. This time, I looked fast. There was a man standing just beyond the light, barely visible, wearing a thick coat, head down, not moving, just watching. He didn't knock, didn't speak. After a while, he slowly turned and walked back into the trees. We packed before sunrise. When I messaged the Airbnb host, they said something that chilled me. "You're not the first to mention someone watching from the woods." But police never find anyone. They offered us a refund and a different property. but we never booked another stay again. I don't know who or what that was, but I know this: we weren't alone out there. Traveling is supposed to open your eyes, but sometimes it opens doors to things you wish you never saw. Sleep tight,